This week on Maker Update, riding in the Lunar New Year, a world of sound, cactus-core, a guide to Noods, DIN rails for your racks, and Cuttle boxes. Hey, I'm Donald Bell, and welcome back to another Maker Update, the show where we update you on what makers are making. I hope you're doing well. Let's get started with the project of the week. This week was the kickoff of Lunar New Year, the Year of the Rabbit, and so it seemed an appropriate time for Handy Geng to create this rabbit-shaped ride-on electric car. The undercarriage here is essentially a metal box frame with a hefty DC motor and a single chain running out to a geared axle. A bank of SLA batteries provide the power to the generic speed controller. For wheels, he's using these hard rubber wheels that you typically see on a utility cart. I'd think these would make for an uncomfortable ride, but then you see how he makes the ribbing and sheet metal panels for the rabbit, and I'm guessing this whole thing works as a kind of shock absorber as you ride on top of it. But what puts this project over the top are the extras. He's included big car stereo speakers in the ears, which run out to a Bluetooth amplifier so he can play some music while he cruises around. Throttle controls are embedded in the back of the ears for forward and reverse. Steering is done using a handlebar type system that you control with your feet. But the biggest surprise is this industrial humidifier that he's mounted inside that shoots a huge cloud of water vapor out the bunny's backside. The control for this is also included on the back of the ear, like some crazy James Bond smokescreen feature. And if the fit and finish of the build seem a little more scrappy than usual, you have to appreciate that he didn't just make one of these, he made a total of 5 of them, all identical. I hope these made it into a Lunar New Year parade somewhere. I think there's something about creating multiples that oddly makes it seem less weird. Like, one guy on a bunny might be a call to the police, but you get at least 2 bunnies involved, and it's an event. More projects. On his blog, Daric Gill shares all the details that went into his sound sculpture, the Memory Machine Sound. The sculpture is made up of a central hub with electronics and an audio amplifier, which branches out to 2 similar-looking wooden cylinders containing the speakers. When you move past this motion-activated speaker system, a sound is played from a bank of over 60 recordings Daric has captured from his travels around the world. For the sound playback, Daric is using an Adafruit Feather M4 Express board with an Adafruit Music Maker breakout that stores all the audio files on an SD card. A PIR motion sensor is used to detect nearby movement and trigger the audio playback. For power, Daric is piggybacking off of the 24 volts used by the amplifier and stepping it down to power the Adafruit boards. The piece is currently hanging in the Columbus, Ohio Center of Science and Industry Museum, but if you can't see it in person, be sure to check out all the great video and written documentation on Daric's blog, which I've included in the description. Desert Song by Love Hulten is almost like an inverted version of Daric Gill's piece. Instead of natural recordings from all over the world, we have synthesized sounds triggered by nature itself. Part music instrument, part science experiment, Desert Songs uses probes to monitor micro changes in an electric current running through an enclosed collection of cacti. For an extra bit of visual appeal, he's added a custom visualization up on the top that looks like pulsing plant cells. Sonically, the heart of this project is a Korg NTS-1, which is a pocket-sized little synth engine that runs around $100. How it is that Love is breaking out all those connections and interfacing it with cactus voltages is the real secret trick. Now for some tips and tools. On the Adafruit blog, Erin St. Blaine has a video and written guide on lighting up costume projects with LED noodles. These have been a welcome alternative to EL wire and great for adding thin, discrete lighting accents to costumes and wearable projects. Whether you're running them directly off a battery or wiring them to a microcontroller, Erin's guide offers some great tips and wiring diagrams to help sort it all out. On Instructables, Not Like a Leaf in the Wind shows how to add a DIN rail mounting system to common wire rack shelving. For the uninitiated, DIN rail is a standardized shape of metal rail that's commonly found in industrial and electrical applications. Its shape lends itself to hooking and temporarily securing modular components like electrical breakers. So why would you want some on your storage rack? Well, just like a pegboard system, Once the standard is there, people can design and share all kinds of 3D printed fixtures that can connect to it. In this case, sites like Printables and Thingiverse have a growing collection of designs for tape dispensers and tool holders. But the first trick is to get the DIN rail mounted to the rack, and that's where the Instructable comes in handy, along with the snap-on 3D printed adapter that makes it essential to zip tie the rail in place. Federico Tobon has a great tutorial up on how to quickly size and customize a laser-cut hinged lid box using the web-based Cuttle XYZ software. This particular design is parametric so that everything automatically resizes and intelligently adjusts for the changes you make to material thickness or the size of the box. The tutorial video is just 6 minutes long, so you can see really quickly how easy it is to use a process like this. For this week's Digi-Key Spotlight, don't miss Becky Stern's video on understanding and working with Arduino sensor input. Whether it's digital or analog input, switches, or potentiometers, Becky walks you through it and doesn't skimp on the foundational details that are really key to understanding this stuff. Alright, and that does it for this week's show. Be sure to subscribe, leave a thumbs up, leave a comment. A big thanks to Digi-Key Electronics for making the show possible, and as always, thank you for watching. I'll see you soon.